Ladies and gentlemen, greatness has never been found on the path of ease. The world does not reward those who avoid hardship. It rewards those who conquer it. Look around you. Every invention, every breakthrough, every victory in human history was born from someone's willingness to do what was hard. The Wright brothers defied gravity when the world mocked them. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before giving the world light. Every great leader, innovator, and champion has one thing in common. They embraced the struggle others feared. The truth is simple. Comfort is the enemy of progress. If you seek an easy life, you will live a small one. But if you dare to take on the impossible, you will forge a destiny that others will admire for generations. Success resides beyond comfort. This is an undeniable truth that has shaped the lives of the world's greatest achievers. It is easy to stay where it feels safe, where the challenges are minimal and the risks are few. But the problem with ease is that it does not lead to growth. It does not demand effort, and without effort, there can be no progress. Those who seek only what is comfortable remain stagnant, while those who dare to push beyond their comfort zones discover the heights of success that others only dream about. Comfort is deceptive. It lulls people into a false sense of security, making them believe that staying in the same place is enough. But in reality, the world is constantly moving, and those who do not push themselves forward are inevitably left behind. The greatest rewards in life are reserved for those who are willing to endure discomfort, take on the challenges that others avoid, and persist through the trials that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The human mind is naturally wired to seek safety. It resists change, fears the unknown, and avoids hardship. But those who achieve greatness understand that they must train their minds to embrace difficulty rather than shy away from it. They recognize that every struggle they endure brings them closer to mastery. They do not run from hard work, they chase it, knowing that every ounce of effort they invest will pay dividends in the future. Consider the athlete who wakes up before dawn to train while the rest of the world sleeps, the musician who spends endless hours perfecting every note, the entrepreneur who works tirelessly, facing rejection after rejection until they finally break through. These individuals understand that success is not handed to anyone. It is earned through persistence, sacrifice, and the willingness to do what others will not. History is filled with examples of those who rejected comfort in pursuit of something greater. The most successful inventors, leaders, and visionaries did not have an easy path. They did not stumble upon success. They forged it through sweat, determination, and an unshakable belief in their ability to overcome difficulty. They knew that comfort was a trap that kept people small, and so they made the conscious decision to walk the harder road. Challenges are not obstacles, they are opportunities. Each difficulty faced is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Those who choose to do what is hard develop resilience, and resilience is the foundation of all success. The ability to keep going despite setbacks, to push forward when every part of you wants to stop, is what separates those who succeed from those who do not. The truth is that comfort does not lead to fulfillment. It may feel good in the moment, but in the long run, it leaves people feeling empty, knowing they never pushed themselves to their full potential. Real fulfillment comes from testing your limits, from striving for something that once seemed impossible, and from looking back on the struggle with pride, knowing that you chose to rise rather than settle. There is a simple choice before every person. Stay comfortable and remain the same, or embrace difficulty and become something greater. The path to success is not easy, but that is what makes it worthwhile. When others choose the easy road, be the one who dares to take the harder path, for it is the only one that leads to true greatness. Every obstacle contains a hidden opportunity. This is a truth that separates those who succeed from those who surrender. The world is full of challenges, and no one is exempt from them. But while most people see obstacles as barriers that prevent progress, those who achieve greatness see them as stepping stones to something greater. The difference is not in the circumstances themselves, but in the mindset of the individual facing them. The same roadblock that causes one person to quit can be the very thing that propels another to success. Opportunity does not always present itself in an obvious way. It often disguises itself as hardship, struggle, or failure. Many people fail to recognize this and give up when things become difficult. They believe that setbacks are signs that they are on the wrong path, when in reality those setbacks are the very things that are meant to shape them. The lessons learned through adversity are the most valuable, for they teach resilience, strength, and wisdom. No great achievement has ever come without some form of struggle. Every great innovator, leader, and trailblazer has faced moments where they could have given up, but instead they chose to look deeper, to find the opportunity hidden within the challenge. Throughout history, the most remarkable breakthroughs have come from those who refused to let obstacles define them. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times in his quest to create the light bulb, he did not see failure. He saw progress. Each attempt brought him closer to the answer he sought. If he had given up after 100 failures, or even 1,000, the world might have waited decades for another inventor to bring light to the darkness. His perseverance was not in spite of obstacles, but because of them. Each failure provided him with knowledge that ultimately led to success. The greatest advancements in business, science, and technology have often been born from necessity. When faced with difficulties, the human mind is forced to think differently, to adapt, to find creative solutions. Without obstacles, there would be no innovation. It is the pressure of adversity that forces people to grow beyond their limitations. Those who embrace this truth do not fear difficulty, they welcome it. They understand that every setback is simply a test, a challenge placed in their path to see if they are truly committed to their goal. Even personal growth comes from hardship. A person who has never faced struggle will never develop the depth of character, the strength of will, or the endurance required to achieve greatness. Comfort does not build resilience. It is only through trials that one discovers their true potential. Every moment of difficulty is an opportunity to rise, to improve, to become stronger than before. Those who understand this do not run from problems. They seek the lessons within them. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? There is an old saying that life does not happen to you, it happens for you. Every challenge, every failure, every obstacle is there to shape you, to push you toward your highest potential. The people who succeed are not those who have never faced hardship, but those who have faced it, embraced it, and used it as fuel to move forward. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who do not is simple. The great ones refuse to see obstacles as dead ends. Instead, they see them as doors waiting to be opened. They know that behind every difficulty lies an opportunity, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to find it. Desire fuels the will to persist. It is the unseen force that drives people to push beyond their limits, to keep going when everything around them suggests they should stop. Without desire, no great achievement is possible. It is the starting point of all success, the foundation upon which persistence is built. Those who accomplish extraordinary things are not necessarily the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They are the ones whose desire is so strong that no amount of failure, rejection, or hardship can extinguish it. When a person truly wants something, nothing can stand in their way. They will face obstacles that would discourage others, yet they will continue forward because their vision is stronger than their fear. Desire creates energy, and energy creates action. It is what keeps an athlete training long after exhaustion sets in. It is what keeps an entrepreneur working late into the night, refining their ideas while others sleep. It is what drives an artist to perfect their craft even when no one is watching. The intensity of one's desire determines the level of effort they are willing to put forth. Those with weak desires will give up at the first sign of difficulty. But those whose desire burns like an unquenchable fire will persist, no matter the odds. Success is never a straight path. It is filled with setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. Without a deep and powerful desire, it is easy to give in when things get tough. Many people start with enthusiasm, but when they encounter resistance, they hesitate, question themselves, and ultimately quit. The ones who rise above are those who refuse to let temporary defeats define them. They understand that every failure is simply a stepping stone, every challenge a test of their determination. Their desire is greater than their fear of failure, and so they continue forward while others fall away. History proves that those who change the world are those who refuse to give up. Every major breakthrough, every invention, every discovery was made by someone who persisted when others would have walked away. Greatness is never achieved by those who only work when it is easy. It belongs to those who push forward even when everything in them wants to stop. The Wright brothers did not succeed because they had access to the best technology of their time. They succeeded because their desire to fly was stronger than their failures. Henry Ford was told his ideas were impossible, yet his desire to revolutionize transportation was greater than the skepticism of the world. Desire is the force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. A wish is weak, but a burning desire is unstoppable. It is not enough to say, "I want success." One must want it so intensely that no setback, no difficulty, and no criticism can deter them. This kind of desire creates persistence, and persistence is the one trait that guarantees eventual success. The person who refuses to quit cannot be beaten. They will find a way no matter how long it takes or how many failures they must endure. There is a moment in every journey when the temptation to quit becomes overwhelming. Doubt creeps in, exhaustion takes hold, and the mind whispers, "Maybe this isn't meant for me." But in that moment, desire must rise. It must be stronger than the voice of doubt, more powerful than the weight of failure. Those who push past that moment are the ones who succeed, not because they never struggled, but because they never allowed struggle to define them. Their desire carried them forward, fueling their persistence until success was no longer a possibility, but an inevitability. Strength is built through resistance. This is an unchangeable law of nature, present in every aspect of life. A muscle does not grow unless it is challenged. A tree does not develop deep roots unless it faces strong winds. A person does not become strong unless they endure struggle. Those who seek an easy life, free of difficulties, unknowingly rob themselves of the very challenges that would shape them into something greater. True strength is not given. It is earned through adversity, through hardship, and through the willingness to endure discomfort in the pursuit of something greater. Many people wish for success, but few are willing to go through the necessary process of becoming strong enough to achieve it. They want results without struggle, rewards without effort, and victory without challenge. But this is not how life works. Strength comes only to those who are willing to endure resistance, to those who refuse to be broken by hardship and instead use it as a tool to forge their character. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who avoided struggle, but the ones who embraced it. They understood that every hardship was an opportunity to grow, to become more resilient, and to develop the fortitude necessary to handle even greater challenges in the future. Pain and struggle are not signs that something has gone wrong. They are proof that growth is happening. When a person lifts heavy weights, their muscles tear and repair themselves to become stronger. When a person faces difficult situations, their mind and spirit go through the same process. The more resistance they endure, the more unshakable they become. Those who have never struggled often crumble at the first sign of difficulty, while those who have faced hardship repeatedly develop an unbreakable spirit. Every great individual in history became strong because they faced resistance. They did not seek an easy path. They sought a path that would challenge them, that would demand more from them, and in doing so, they became greater than they ever imagined. The most inspiring leaders, the greatest athletes, the most brilliant minds, none of them were handed success. They all went through trials that would have broken a weaker person. But instead of retreating, they pressed forward. They understood that the struggle was necessary, that it was the very thing that would prepare them for what they were destined to achieve. A person's strength is not measured by how easy their life has been, but by how many times they have fallen and gotten back up. Those who avoid difficulty in the name of comfort will never know their full potential. They will never discover how strong they could have been because they never allowed themselves to be tested. Growth does not come from avoiding pain, but from facing it head-on. The person who embraces struggle, who understands that resistance is a gift, will always surpass those who seek only comfort. The greatest mistake a person can make is to believe that struggle is something to be avoided. Those who think this way will forever remain weak, forever live in fear of hardship, and forever be controlled by circumstances rather than mastering them. Strength is a choice, and it is a choice that must be made repeatedly. Every challenge faced is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every hardship endured is a lesson in resilience. Every moment of resistance is a chance to prove that nothing can break the spirit of one who refuses to be defeated. The only way to become truly strong is to embrace resistance, to welcome struggle, and to understand that every difficulty is simply preparing you for something greater. The mind is the master key. It is the single most powerful force in shaping a person's life, yet few people understand how to use it to its full potential. Every great achievement, every act of courage, every moment of perseverance begins in the mind. It is here that success or failure is first determined. A weak mind surrenders at the first sign of difficulty, while a strong mind pushes forward regardless of the obstacles in its path. The way a person thinks about challenges, about success, and about themselves dictates the course of their life. Those who master their minds master their destinies. Every action begins with a thought. A person who believes they are capable of great things will take actions that lead to greatness. A person who believes they are destined to fail will unconsciously sabotage their own progress. The world reflects what the mind projects. This is why two people can face the same challenge, yet one will rise and the other will fall. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in their mindset. The individual who sees obstacles as opportunities will always find a way forward, while the one who sees them as barriers will stop before they ever truly begin. The mind is like a garden. If it is left unattended, weeds will grow, choking out any potential for success. But if it is cultivated with purpose, filled with empowering thoughts and unwavering belief, it will produce extraordinary results. Negative thoughts are like poison. They weaken a person before they even attempt to act. Doubt, fear, and hesitation are the chains that keep people from moving forward. But the opposite is also true. A mind filled with determination, with an unshakable belief in the possibility of success, becomes a force that cannot be stopped. History proves that the mind is the determining factor in success. Countless individuals have risen from nothing to achieve greatness, not because they had an easy path, but because they refused to let their circumstances define them. They control their minds, and in doing so, they control their futures. The greatest inventors, athletes, and leaders in history all shared one thing in common. They had the mental strength to persist when others would have quit. They understood that setbacks were temporary and that every failure was simply a lesson leading them closer to their goal. Most people never reach their full potential, not because they lack the ability, but because they allow their minds to be ruled by fear and limitation. They listen to the voices that tell them they are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. But these voices are lies, and those who choose to ignore them are the ones who achieve greatness. The truth is that anyone can accomplish extraordinary things if they take control of their mind. The only limits that exist are the ones a person accepts. Mastering the mind is not a one-time decision, it is a daily discipline. It requires constant awareness, a refusal to entertain negative thoughts, and a commitment to replacing doubt with belief. It means looking at every challenge and telling oneself, I will find a way. It means facing failure and saying, this is not the end. It means knowing with absolute certainty that nothing is impossible for the person who refuses to surrender to fear. The world belongs to those who take control of their minds. It does not favor the strongest, the wealthiest, or the most privileged. It favors those who understand that the mind is the master key. The moment a person decides that success is inevitable, that no obstacle is too great, and that their thoughts will shape their reality, they unlock a power greater than any challenge they will ever face. The mind creates the future, and those who control it hold the key to anything they desire. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. No amount of planning, hoping, or dreaming can replace the necessity of action. The world is filled with people who have great ideas, who set ambitious goals, who imagine success in their minds, yet they never take the first step toward making it real. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is simple. The successful act while others hesitate. They do not wait for perfect conditions, nor do they allow fear to paralyze them. They understand that progress is made only by those who are willing to move forward, even in uncertainty. Many people believe they need more knowledge, more experience, or more resources before they can begin. They tell themselves that once the timing is right, once they feel fully prepared, they will take action. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it is the greatest thief of opportunity. The truth is that no one ever feels fully ready. The most successful individuals in history did not begin with perfect plans. They began with a willingness to start. They understood that clarity comes through action, that every step forward reveals the next, and that momentum is created by doing, not by waiting. Fear is the greatest enemy of action. It whispers doubts, magnifies risks, and convinces people to stay where they are rather than venture into the unknown. But those who achieve greatness refuse to let fear dictate their choices. They know that fear will always be present, but they act anyway. They take the first step even when they are uncertain of the outcome, because they understand that movement itself creates confidence. The more action they take, the less power fear has over them. The greatest cure for self-doubt is action, for in doing, one proves to themselves that they are capable. Success is not built on intentions alone. The person who talks about what they will do but never takes action remains in the same place year after year. Meanwhile, the one who takes imperfect steps forward, who stumbles but keeps going, eventually reaches their destination. The world does not reward potential, it rewards execution. It does not remember those who had good ideas but never acted on them. It remembers those who took bold steps, who risked failure, and who turned their vision into something tangible. The power of action lies in momentum. A person who starts moving, no matter how small their initial steps, finds it easier to continue than the one who never starts at all. Small actions taken consistently lead to massive results over time. The greatest achievements in history were not accomplished in a single moment, but through a series of actions, repeated with relentless determination. The habit of taking action is what transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Excuses are the enemies of action. The mind will always find reasons why now is not the right time, why something is too difficult, why failure is too great a risk. But those who rise above mediocrity recognize excuses for what they are, barriers to success. They push through hesitation, knowing that every day wasted in indecision is a day lost forever. They understand that action is the only thing that moves them forward, that every goal remains a dream until effort is applied. The moment a person desires to take action, everything changes. They separate themselves from the millions who only talk and think about success, stepping into the small circle of those who create it. They realize that they do not need all the answers before they begin, only the courage to take the first step. And once that step is taken, momentum carries them forward, progress builds upon progress, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The world belongs to those who act, and those who act never have to wonder what could have been. The difference between success and failure, between greatness and mediocrity, lies in the willingness to do what is hard. Every challenge, every obstacle, every difficulty is not a barrier but an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove that nothing is beyond reach for the person who refuses to quit. Strength is built through resistance, and desire fuels persistence. The mind is the master key, shaping reality through belief and action. But belief alone is not enough. Action is the bridge that turns dreams into achievements. History remembers those who dared to push forward when others stopped. It rewards those who embrace difficulty, knowing that struggle is the price of greatness. Those who wait for the perfect moment, who fear failure, who shrink from hardship, will always remain where they are. But those who rise, who persist, who take control of their minds and their actions, will go beyond limits and carve their names into history. The path to success is not easy, nor should it be. It is in doing what is hard that we discover who we truly are. The question is not whether obstacles will appear. They will. The question is whether you will rise to meet them. And if you do, if you commit to pressing forward despite every challenge, then nothing will be impossible for you. The world belongs to those who dare to do what is hard. Be one of them.